Stars as we honor the achievements of America's most inspiring women. Find out who is Next Star's Remarkable Woman of the Year tonight at 7 on KTLA 5.
Now on the KTLA Morning News at 9, at least 6 people killed in a separate crash. 2 separate crashes just hours apart on a major road in the Antelope Valley.
Dueling demonstrations leading to pushing and shoving at UCLA over the weekend. And in Gaza, Hamas said to be considering a ceasefire deal that could free some of the Israeli hostages. We'll have the very latest on that breaking news.
And a major California utility company dropping its rate on future bills. We'll explain.
This is the great time of the year. You're not really turning on air conditioning. You don't have to turn on the heat at night. Beautiful, beautiful temperatures. And finally, we're starting to get some spring weather here in the Southland. 68 high today at the beaches, downtown 73, San Fernando Valley, beautiful 82, 78 high desert, Inland Empire 82, and Orange County Inland 78 degrees. Frank.
And we begin with this breaking news. Israel has offered Hamas a 40-day ceasefire and the release of Palestinian prisoners in return for Israeli hostages being held captive in Gaza. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken called for an urgent deal between both sides. He made his comments this morning as he met with Arab leaders in Saudi Arabia's capital of Riyadh. There's hope a deal would avert an Israeli assault on Rafah. More than 1 million people have fled their homes and Israeli bombardment and are living in shelters there. There could be more protests at UCLA today after a weekend of scuffles.
Pro-Palestinian and pro-Israel demonstrators clashed over the war in Gaza yesterday. KTLA's Eric Spillman is live in Westwood with the latest. Eric, good morning.
Good morning, Alina. Good morning, Frank. This pro-Palestinian protest here on Dixon Plaza at UCLA, this tent encampment here is expanding. It's growing larger. Show you what's happening behind me. It started on Thursday with just a few tents. It has now grown to more than 50 tents here. These students demanding that UCLA divest from any companies with ties to Israel. And these pro-Palestinian protesters here have set up wooden barricades around their encampment to control who goes in and who comes out. And they actually have appointed their own guards here to block public walkways here in the center of campus. Now, show you some pictures from a few minutes ago. Some UCLA firefighters wanted to enter the encampment to inspect it for safety to see if there are any fire hazards here. They were told they could not come in, but the firefighters dismantled one of the barricades, moved it aside, and went inside anyway over the objections of the pro-Palestinian demonstrators who tried to block their way. When we tried to go inside with our news camera, the pro-Palestinian demonstrators would not let us pass. Are we not allowed to, sir, can we talk to you?
Firefighters, not you guys.
Why not?
Please step back.
Why can we not go through here?
Because we're not letting media in right now.
I know, but this is a public campus. Why are we not able to go through?
Because we're not letting media in right now. There's
I know,
an
but
encampment going on.
who are you? Are you a
Can
police
you take
officer?
a step back, please?
No,
Even the firefighter just said to please step back.
Well, I mean, he's a
Please step
firefighter.
back.
He's not a police officer. What's
You're
the
not
problem?
a firefighter, so you're not coming in.
Well, why am I not allowed to come in there?
Because we're not letting media in right now.
I know. Well, what are you afraid of? Why do you not want to have people talk to you and find out what your protest is all about?
How did you get through here?
So you guys are in charge of who gets through? I asked to speak to someone from the pro-Palestinian group, but so far they have declined to offer us a spokesperson. Now to some pictures from yesterday. A pro-Israel group organized a counter-protest here just a few feet away from the pro-Palestinian encampment. Those demonstrators showed up with Israeli flags calling for Hamas to release the hostages in Gaza. And the two sides got into scuffles.
Stop killing children! Stop killing children! Stop killing children!
At least one person was hurt here. A pro-Israel demonstrator was knocked to the ground. She had to be carried out of the crowd and was apparently bleeding from the head. UCLA called in more security and brought in officers wearing riot gear, but as far as we know, nobody was arrested. A member of the pro-Palestinian group says the pro-Israel demonstrators were trying to antagonize them.
They are attacking us, they have been pushing us, and we're trying to keep our cool and control ourselves. not respond because the goal they do is to provoke us, and we are trying not to be affected by them.
But this morning, the director of a Jewish organization here at UCLA blamed the university administration for allowing the pro-Palestinian group to take over a section of campus.
The tensions are high, and this encampment over here violates a long list of university policies that have been put in place to protect Jewish students, to protect all students, to keep campus calm. And when nothing's done about it, that's the result, and it's a tinderbox ready to explode.
And it continues this morning, showing you what's happening here now. This is the setup, the big video screen that was left here from the pro-Israel protest yesterday. They are projecting a video showing support for Israel, projecting it to the other side, the pro-Palestinian tent encampment, which you'll see is maybe only 50 feet away from where that video screen is. So there's definitely more taking place here this morning. A UCLA vice chancellor called on both sides to engage respectfully and to respect each other's humanity. We'll send it back to you.
I was just wondering, you were stopped by someone who has set up, I guess, the encampment and told you couldn't pass through on this public campus to the other portion of campus. Are students and faculty also being stopped from passing through their own campus?
Yes. Absolutely. If you see behind the metal barricade over there, you'll see a couple of women with green vests. Those are members of the pro-Palestinian protest that have set up the encampment here, and they are refusing to allow anyone, not just media, but other students, administrators, professors, cannot pass their checkpoint there. And I've asked the folks at UCLA, why is this being allowed? You're essentially allowing the student group, this protest group, to take over a section of campus and to decide who can come in and who can come out. And I'm waiting for their response. So far, they haven't gotten back to me.
It just seems like a precedent that could really be dangerous if other people then say, okay, we're going to claim this part of the campus. You can't come in here. I mean, it could really spiral out of control, and it's just astonishing that you are being stopped by people who are not official representatives of the university.
Yeah, I mean, it is amazing to me. I mean, again, where does it stop? You could have another protest group take over another part of campus and restrict who comes in and out. Yeah, I'm waiting for an answer from UCLA administration. So far, haven't received one.
All right, Eric, we know you'll stay on top of it. Thank you.
Eric, thank you. The USC campus remains closed to the general public this morning. Students and faculty are allowed to enter campus through two designated areas. On Saturday, protesters vandalized the iconic Tommy Trojan statue, spray painting the words "Say No to Genocide" at the base. No word if anyone was arrested, but the LAPD issued a citywide tactical alert Saturday night in response to the disturbance. University President Carol Folt issued this statement. Take a look. It reads in part, USC has long-standing protocols that allow for peaceful protesting, and we have been working successfully with our community to ensure these rules have been followed at gatherings, protests, and visuals taking place all year. USC also has firm rules regarding harassment and bullying that we will uphold.
And to some news on a stretch of road in the Antelope Valley that the local residents know as Blood Alley. 6 people were killed in 2 separate crashes along Pearl Blossom Highway. KTLA's Aaron Myers live in Pearl Blossom with the details. Aaron, good morning.
Good morning, Frank. We spoke to one resident who says they would definitely like to see some changes made along Pearl Blossom Highway because of these crashes and others before. Now, one of the crashes happened last night and 5 people were killed. The other happened early this morning. And we'll go ahead and get into some video from the crash from early this morning. It happened just before 5:30 along the side of the highway near Hample Avenue. It involved a semi-truck and a minivan. We're told the semi was pulled over along the side of the road. It's believed the minivan drifted over and hit the back of the semi. One person in the van was killed. Now they're trying to determine why the driver veered. As for that other fatal crash, we have video from that as well. That happened just after 8 last night on Pear Blossom Highway near 106th Street East, just a short distance from where we are. 2 vehicles were involved. Both ended up off the roadway. A Toyota flipped over onto its roof in the brush, a Mitsubishi on its side along the side of the road. According to CHP log, people were trapped in both vehicles. Both the CHP and LA County Fire responded, and once again, 5 people were killed in this crash, including both drivers. The CHP says 3 passengers in one vehicle also lost their lives in the crash. All were pronounced dead here at the scene. This time, we do not have the identities of those that were killed. We have reached out to the coroner's office for more information. Residents in the area said they are worried about this stretch of road and would like to see something done.
Well, we'd like to see more safety along 138, safety measures, less speeds for all the different motorists that are coming through, whether it's big rigs or whatever it is, just to lower the speed limit on 138.
Once again, the causes of both crashes are still under investigation. Reporting live here in Pear Blossom, I'm Erin Myers. I'll send it back to you in the studio.
Erin, thank you. Could electricity bills start coming down?
The head of California's largest utility says she sees rising prices reversing. Pacific Gas and Electric CEO Patty Pope says bills could start dropping as early as next year. That's because increased rates over the past year to raise money for infrastructure improvements will end. A 13% jump just this past January sparked a public outcry and scrutiny from state regulators. She said some of those spikes were one-time charges. PG&E serves Northern and Central California. As for one of our local utility companies, SoCal Edison, customers will see their bills drop by $86, courtesy of a climate credit. That'll happen in October.
And Mark, you were just saying right now we're in that sweet spot where you don't need the AC.
Yeah, you don't need a lot of AC, if any at all. And then at night, you throw on maybe an extra blanket and you don't need heat. So, yeah, a little bit of a sweet spot. It doesn't last long. Enjoy it while you can. Temperature 65, 3 degrees warmer than yesterday. Relative humidity 60.